just a little more background. I'm somebody that is coming back from the States. It wasn't a plan that we had. About 6 months ago, I started making trips back to American Samoa. And I'll tell you the honest truth, it's the youth that is bringing me back. I see so many youth here, and I'd hope that the opportunities available to them would be a lot more at this point in time. I graduated 20 years ago here in American Samoa. And for that reason, I decided to come back and try my hand at helping with business and opportunities for employment, mostly for youth, young adults here in American Samoa. Higher Growth is a company that is planning, again, so we're still in the planning phases of coming to American Samoa. We have a building here. We have the opportunity. The internet obviously is here. That's what we're talking about right now. Now it's just a matter of answering the question of whether or not American Samoa is providing an environment that will make it so that businesses will want to come to American Samoa. So we can go to the next slide. So with what's going on right now in American Samoa with the partnership between DOC, Cloud Solutions, and ASTCA, I mean, they're pioneers in what our governor has been wanting to happen on this island, and that's using this Hawaii cable for something that can produce more jobs, more revenue, more opportunity for the people in American Samoa. So the business process outsourcing company that we're bringing is actually going to be called Pacific Link here in American Samoa. It's already registered here. The issue is that, just a few months ago, obviously COVID hit. Before that, in January, February, we actually flew in a couple of our partners, one of which owns a call center in the Philippines, which, in all honesty, if we're gonna try and compete in the landscape of business process outsourcing companies, we will compete directly with the Philippines. And we have to understand what that means and how Samoa can create a landscape that can compete against that. We also flew in a IT specialist, someone who works in business, home automation, using fiber optic, all the fast internet. And we flew them both in just to get an idea of what they thought of how things are here. Louis Woolman, the former CEO of ASTCA, was gracious enough to let us shadow him, and he showed us, the capabilities that we have here. And I don't even think we understand how good we have it here with Hawaii. The two gentlemen that we flew in, they turned around, as they were leaving this island, they said, "Man, you guys have no idea what you guys have. We can't get this in some areas of the United States. The speeds and bandwidths that you have here." A couple concerns that they did have, I will talk about here in the next little bit. But let's move to the next slide. This is what we're all trying to do here is we're trying to bring to fruition what the governor had hoped for with bringing this cable to the island. And I know he's gotten a lot of flack because of a lot of things haven't really, come to play. But with these pioneers that have already started, we have to follow suit, and we have to act to make this happen in a bigger way and quicker. Next slide. So I'll go through a few things. I won't spend too much time on this. These are my partners right now. We have multiple partners. These are, we added another one. His name is James Clark. He actually owns one of the biggest call centers in Utah in the United States with over 2,000 employees. And a lot of people in America, even non-Polynesians, have been approaching us, asking us what we're doing and why. My partner, Gabe Reed, who is also a son of Samoa, that's moving back his entire family to help in these endeavors. But a lot of them have been asking us, "Hey, what are you guys doing? How can we help?" And this gentleman here, James Clark, Gene Smith, a lot of them have been asking us, "Hey, can we be part of this?" And for that reason, we have a lot of backing, a lot of financial backing. But the issue, and I'll be straightforward, the issue is the landscape right now, and whether or not this is something that's going to be safe for us to open here with everything that's going on. Next slide. So I'll share just, these are rough numbers, kind of estimates on what we're looking at between us and the Philippines. I'll have you concentrate just on one line, and that's the cost of labor. The way we see things here, when you run the numbers between here and the Philippines, I was in the Philippines probably about 4 months ago and spent a good amount of time in Cebu going through business process outsourcing companies, multiple of them, to see how their layout is, what they're doing, their costs and whatnot. And we're falling behind at about 30 to 50% more in cost of labor compared to them. So a US company that would want to hire our BPO compared to one in the Philippines is going to save that much in labor costs, which is huge. But even with that, even with us facing that, we still feel we can make it happen here. Next slide. So fortunately, we've met with the governor, we've met with DOC, we've met with ASTCA, and Gabe and I, we really do believe that with the help of the American Samoa government and with some tax breaks and some other areas where they can help us out with, that we could still make it a profitable endeavor. In all honesty, I don't see this as a huge profit center for Gabe and I, but obviously this is a passion project with us being from here and wanting to help our youth get into something better than they're doing right now. Okay, we know there's a lot of issues and we won't talk about those here on this call, but there are a lot of better things that they could be doing and we want to provide that for them. Now, these are some numbers as well that we believe are very conservative. If you look at the BPO world and how BPO centers grow, 100 employees within the first year is actually a pretty safe number. And we're actually looking at investing our own money and some of our partners' money into the island. And for that reason, again, even more so, we need the landscape to be such that we feel safe that this will actually work. Let's go to the next slide. One of the things that that we're very looking forward to is going to be some of these things, especially the one here on the bottom right. I can't tell you how many people since I've moved back have messaged me confused at why I'm here and why I came back because of what we made, what we created and built in the States. But I tell you right now, there are plenty of them that want to come home. But if we can't provide them an industry other than StarKiss that they can excel in and come in and take high positions in and make decent incomes in, they will not come back because they need to be able to provide for their families. And they want to come back, okay? The other thing too is we want to retain local talent. I am one from the military. I love the military. I'll tell you right now that the unfortunate part of it is a lot of people use the military because it's the only option. And for those folks, I want to give them another option to come and work, not just in certain areas of the internet, but I'll show you on the next slide some things that I think are even more important or bigger opportunities that we have with what we're bringing. Next slide. So obviously with internet speeds, we're going to be able to do a lot of these things on the left with online type work, okay? Business process outsourcing, like Mike McDonald said, is the low-hanging fruit, right? But then we have a lot of other companies, medical billing, live security, surveillance monitoring. With the bandwidth that we have, we can actually do live surveillance monitoring security for companies in the United States, which now are requiring more of that than just an automated security system for businesses and residences. Social media marketing agencies. None of us on this call probably know more than most 16, 17-year-olds as far as how social media works. It's another huge industry right now that's making millions and millions of dollars in the States that our youth here can take part in. Amazon FBA management, even more so right now, is a big industry. Graphic design. I won't go through all of these. Some things that we may not think of though are, and these are other things that from a BPO can now stem other business opportunities and income, job opportunities like home and business security monitoring here. I'm not talking about putting up just a few cameras, and I'm talking about real monitoring alarm systems that alert the police, alert the ambulances, so that they can come and help. We don't have that here, but we have internet that can make that a reality. Remote access setup for anything, business, residences, networking, business process setup, total home automation. It's something that's huge in the United States. We're probably about 10, 15 years behind the States as far as this goes. But again, another $1 million industry. I'm not going to go too much further after this. I do want to share with you though, what some of the things that my counterparts said when they took off on their flight. They said, hey, the biggest issue we see here in American Samoa is, one of the biggest issues is safety of our Hawaii cable system. For those of us who don't know, the security of it is very poor. I can't put it any other way. There's not a lot of security, entry access to the facilities that control the Hawaii have very low security to no security. Whereas, if you have facilities here in the States that are controlling these things and access to these things, they'd have a security monitor there. They'd have somebody there to make sure that nobody just enters or can break in and cut our line to all of this information or steal from it. Okay. But other than that, in the end, guys, respect the time. I'm just saying that right now at this point, I cannot pull the trigger on starting something here just because I've seen the Chamber of Commerce complain about this too, or just bring this concern up that, you know, if we're treating an industry that's leaving our island better than the industries that are trying to grow, are trying to come to this island, you're going to have a hard time convincing companies to come. And I'll leave it at that. But thank you for your time.